Welcome to the Going North podcast, where you will be informed, encouraged, and empowered to embrace your dreams and advance in life through authorship. I'm your host, best-selling author of the book Stay the Course, and certified leadership trainer, Dom Brightman. Be sure to check out the goods and services from every guest, as well as the host himself, yours truly. Now let the fun begin. Today's episode is sponsored by the brand new Northbound to Your Success shop, where you can buy the wonderful logo, advance others to advance yourself in t-shirt form, mug form, heck, even a phone case if you like a phone case. Either way, click on shop on goingnorthpodcast.com, cop a t-shirt, hoodie or two, and be sure to tag the host when you do, so that way I can give you a shout out on a future episode of the podcast. And today on the highlight reel builder for authors known as GMP, the Great Glorious and Glamorous, it's the Going North podcast, and we got one heck of a super special awesome human for you today, because we got a young writer in the building, baby. That's right, young with a capital Y, because my goodness indeed. This wonderful lady right here, a unique emerging poet of British Nepalese ethnicity who lives in South Wales. Let's try saying that 7 times fast. And her journey took off when she started by establishing a growing IG poetry page, hashtag at Encapsulated Emotions, and never looked back. And now she's fallen in love with prose and as always has a fountain pen and notebook by her side to write down some poetry. So that's right, folks. The poet's going to be spitting today, y'all. So let's give it up for Miss R.A. herself. No, we're not talking about the sun god, but we're talking about Rha Arayal. How you doing today, Rha?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Doing fabulous, doing fabulous. Welcome to the business of immortality.
It's amazing to be on this podcast. Thanks for having me here.
My pleasure indeed, my pleasure indeed. I definitely want to highlight writers, especially young writers, give them a chance to promote their work, because folks gave me a chance when I was younger, even though I'm still a young dude. I'm not even 40 yet, but yeah, just want to give young folks a chance, get their voices out there.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate this opportunity. I love talking about my work, my book. So yeah, this is going to be really fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun on all the buns indeed. So my goodness, well, as you know, with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 8 days long, so mind filling in any gaps I may have missed about the introduction and telling us who the Radiant Rha is.
Well, the introduction you gave me pretty much is who I am. It's a very concise version of it, obviously, but yeah, my name's Rha. I'm a poet. I live in Wales in the UK, and I started writing poetry over lockdown, which somehow collated and became my manuscript, and I now have a book called Encapsulated Emotions. That's all there is to me, really.
Lies! That's not all there is. I know there's more. busy trying to be all ninja-like because you're a black belt martial artist. I know what you're doing.
Yeah, I am. I've been doing karate for about 10 years, and yeah, I love karate. My dad does it as well, so, and my sister, so we're kind of like a karate family, very like active and fit. I love karate. It's amazing. It's just kind of a way for me to unwind, and it's so different to poetry as well. I really enjoy having kind of two completely different hobbies and then just balancing them out. It's really fun.
Oh yeah, that's right. Fun on the bun. Indeed. So yeah, balancing it out. So the thing is, like martial arts, it usually enhances like everything else you do. So do you feel like you ever feel like just writing things down poetry wise after a good session of karate, or does it not work like that for you?
Oh, well, yeah, as a poet, I do draw inspiration from loads of different places. And as kind of specific as your question was, there has been an instant where I have written a poem from doing karate. Basically, there was this kind of summer heat wave that we experienced in the UK this summer, and I had been to karate. We had to have all the doors and windows wide open, the air conditioning was blasting, and still we were kind of dying from heat stroke. And yeah, that kind of inspired a poem about global warming within me, because I just realized how abnormal it was, and how, like, a country like the UK, we're really not suited for such hot temperatures, especially over like a sustained amount of time. So it really stood out to me, so I decided to write a poem on it.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, indeed. Well, there you have it, folks. That's right. It's a giant ball of sweat happening in the UK, folks. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's right. Folks getting baptized in their own sweat, but y'all don't have the obesity problem that the US has, so it might not be as bad.
Yeah, just going for a walk in that heat is a workout.
uh, ouch. Yeah, because that global warming definitely, it's like we got the warning years ago, but it's like, nah, it's just summertime. It will be fine. And now it's like, oh, I guess they weren't kidding about those warnings about global warming. I guess Mother Earth is mad.
Yeah, I think she really is.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, all right, I'm over 50 now. It's time for my hot flash. I'm going to call this my earthopause, not my menopause. That's right, folks.
That was good.
I wonder if any of the listeners going to burn me at the stake for that one later. But yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, my goodness. So, karate in the family and poetry at a young age being inspired by just about anything. Are you the only writer in the family, or did your mom and dad also do some writing at one point outside of just the regular grade school writing?
Well, yeah, that's kind of the funny thing about me. My parents, neither of them are particularly interested in literature. It's not really a part of their everyday lives. So I kind of stand out in my family in the way that when I was younger, obviously my parents encouraged me to read books and stuff, but they never really realized, I think, how seriously I was taking it all. And so as I grew up and kind of could have my own say in things, and grew more independent, I tried to incorporate literature even more thoroughly within my life, because I enjoy it so much. But yeah, originally I was the only writer in the family, but now my little sister, her name's Anna, she's 7 years younger than me, so she's 10. She started writing and reading as well, so I think we're going to have two poets in the family. But originally there was just me.
Ah, did the little one see Big Sis? Was like, hey, I want to write too.
Yeah, I think so. I think I can take most of the credit for influencing her into writing. I mean, when she was younger, before I did get into poetry, she still liked reading. My mum, on the phone to relatives, she always complains about how we read too much, and how, she has to yank the books away from us. When I was younger, there was actually a household rule where I wasn't allowed to read after 7 p.m. because I'd be so antisocial. I'd just be on the sofa huddled up with a book, and I wouldn't listen to anyone or talk to anyone. I was just in my own little world. So yeah, my parents had to actually put restrictions on reading, but I still found my way around them. I used to actually sneak books like into the toilet and then read them in the toilet. So yeah. My sister
Man.
has a similar rule imposed onto her, but she gets away with it, obviously, as all younger siblings do.
Yeah, it's true. As the youngest of my family, I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that's interesting. That is really interesting. So it's like, oh, so being antisocial. So what helped you to become more social? Because this ain't your first podcast at all. So what helped you to break out of it? Do you think it was the karate training being a black belt? Do you think that helped, or was it something else?
Well, karate's definitely helped me with my confidence. Yeah, as you said, I've had podcasts before, and actually, this was something we touched upon. Karate just makes me so much more confident within myself, and just having that element of self-reliance and knowing that you can look after yourself in some really difficult situations, it definitely makes you feel quite empowered. But other things that help my confidence, and as you said, made me less antisocial, probably, just socializing with people. I think coming into secondary school also helped me quite a lot, because you meet so many different kinds of people, and there are people that'll love you, people that'll hate you, and you just have to learn how to deal with it all. So yeah, I just think loads of different things have factored into me becoming more confident. But the thing that's made me most confident as a writer, I would say, is opening up my Instagram account and finding people like me and sharing my work with them. I think that's really helped me.
That's what I'm talking about. Indeed, that's right, folks. The IGs, indeed. That's right. Still on the IGs, even though the older folks have found their way on it a bit. Probably not as bad as TikTok, though.
Yeah. TikTok seems to be like some kind of fever. Everyone's just got it nowadays.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All the dances pointing at nothing and then making words appear in the editing phase. Gotta love it.
Yeah, yeah. One of my friend's dads, he's like that. He's absolutely TikTok crazy. He just spends like all of his day on it.
Well, that's freaking hilarious. My goodness, my goodness. Sweet. Well, with all this wonderful knowledge and opening up the IGs and doing some reading up, heck, even offering some tips every now and then on your YouTube page, is there a future book in mind? Actually, Betty, before we even talk about future projects, you got this encapsulated emotion. So, how long did it take you to write the book? Were all the poems from the whole pandemic craze that started in 2020, or was it stuff that you just brought in from even earlier teen years, like 13 or 15?
Well, before the pandemic, I had started writing a bit of poetry. It was kind of very unmotivated. It was just like, yeah, I'll try to write a couple poems. And then I didn't really have any structure or proper motivation behind it. So that kind of fell away. That was when I was about, I'd say 14 or 15. I don't think any of those poems have actually made it into the book, though. I've just kind of decided to brush them off and just leave them where they are in the past. But yeah, I'd say majority, maybe 99% of the poems in my book are all from that 2020 lockdown. It's when I had enough free time to seriously kind of teach myself something and invest my emotions into something. And so I decided to turn to poetry. And yeah, it's just all of the poems from that initial lockdown that have been made into the manuscript. So the process took, I think, about a year for it to have been run through by my editors. You know, I had to find a publishing company, everything like that. And then the transition from it being a Word document into an actual physical book that you can hold, that took quite a while. And there were quite a lot of versions of it and additions that I had to look over and then redraft, etc., etc. So yeah, I'd say it took about a year, but actually writing the poems probably took about 3 or 4 months. And then I had to eventually find publishers, and we went from there.
Ah, well, there you go. That's right, indeed. Someone's like, nah, I ain't doing that self-publishing thing. Like, nah, fam, I'm gonna find me a traditional publisher. That's right. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. So, my goodness. So, since you went through the traditional route, basically had to. Well, then again, you probably didn't even use a literary agent, did you?
No, I didn't actually. I just went straight to the publisher's website and sent in some samples of my poems.
Ah, that's what I'm talking about, indeed. And what's the name of this website for those who might be of the same mindset of trying to get a poetry book out there?
Yeah, my publishers are called Gen Z Publishing. So there you are.
Oh, oh, okay, all right. Cool, cool, cool. Actually, funny enough, I think Kelly Hopkins, one of our past guests, actually went through that publisher too. So yeah, alrighty.
Oh, nice. Nice, yeah.
So
Yeah, what you said about self-publishing, I think I did do a bit of research into it just briefly, but I saw that there was so much work that had to go into it. You know, you had to teach yourselves all sorts of things like formatting and like loads of very technical aspects. And I felt as though if I spent my time on all of those things, it might take away from the fun of actually being in the publishing process as an author. So I think that was quite important to me to just see it from quite a traditional viewpoint, as in I am the author of the book, and then you know I have my own publishers, as opposed to I am the author and the editor and the marketer and everything else. So yeah, it definitely simplified the process for me by having publishers, and they've been amazing, and they made the whole thing very simple and easy, and I got to, you know, have my say. It was just I honestly couldn't fault it. It was amazing.
woohoo! That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. Because yeah, that is the beautiful thing about the traditional route. If you get your work accepted by them, especially if it's a great company that'll put your work out there in a good way, is the fact that less work for you in terms of the whole, the upfront of putting the whole book together, not having to format it or heck, even finding a formatter. I still remember my first book. Like the formatting in Microsoft Word was hell on earth.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I bet. Yeah. There are just so many stages of it, and I felt like it would be kind of too much of a project for me to take on. I'm probably right in saying that loads of adults have, tried to self-publish a book and then failed. So me being 16, I didn't really want to set myself up for such a big task. So I just decided to, plan A was to get publishers, and then plan B was to either self-publish or just to wait a bit longer until my poetry got better and then find publishers.
that's what I'm talking about indeed. That's what I'm talking about indeed. That's right, learning from the mistakes of others. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. That means you got a long life ahead of you.
Yeah, hopefully. That'll mean I have more time to write poetry.
Speaking of more time to write poetry, I believe you're also a full time college student now, too, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm in sixth form here in the UK, so I'm studying English, psychology, and criminology. Those are my subjects. I love all of them. And then I'm going to pursue English and creative writing in university. That's the plan.
Okay, all right, cool, cool, cool. So we're gonna get a Raw Holmes here with the whole criminology interest. Is that what's going on here?
I don't know, honestly. I love writing, obviously, so I like essay subjects, and that's kind of why I took these humanity-based subjects, and it was definitely a good decision. I feel as though if I wasn't doing English in uni, I probably would have chosen criminology. It's a very interesting subject, kind of a mix of sociology and psychology, and it's just got loads of theories and things that are really interesting. I don't know, maybe one day I will incorporate like a criminal or mystery aspect into my work, maybe if I do novel writing in the future, but right now that hasn't really been thought about on this side of things.
I got you. I got you indeed. So the writing, the college classes, and if I'm not mistaken, part time work on top of that too, right?
Yeah, I volunteer for a magazine called Juvenilia, so yeah, I'm the creative director there. I think that's my title. And what I do is I just contribute two poems each month. We have two themes for each edition. So I kind of write poems that match those. And I also just make sure everyone else on the creative writing team is, kind of keeping up with the workload as well.
Sounds good indeed. And sounds like you're keeping yourself busy, which I can appreciate indeed. Keeping yourself busy doing productive and creative things. So, my goodness, so what's next for you? Any idea when book number two will be coming out?
No ideas yet. I'm still compiling quite a lot of poems and stuff, for the basis of the manuscript. I would definitely say that the emergence from lockdown and like the reunion sort of with normal life or with a COVID altered normality has had an effect on my writing, because it's gone from having online school and being able to manage my own time to having obviously real life college, which is a lot different because I can't delegate my time into certain hours. I can't write when I want to write or when inspiration strikes. So it's quite difficult to conform to all of that and also balance out, when inspiration strikes and when I do want to write. So I feel as though I'm not actually producing as many poems as I was in lockdown, which is something I'm going to have to look at. We've currently got a Christmas break right now, so there's no school for about 3 weeks. So I'm definitely going to turn to my notebooks now and just see what comes out, because I need to write more. It's the truth.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about indeed. Congratulations in advance with the future project. So, since this is far from your first rodeo, is there a question that you wish you would be asked more often when you're on these interviews?
That's a very interesting question. I think a question that writers aren't really asked enough is, why do you write, or why do you want to put yourself into the publishing industry? Kind of like, what have you got that other writers don't? Why do you belong to be, on the shelves of whatever bookstores, or why do your books belong to be in the hands of readers? I think that's an interesting question that I don't know. I haven't been asked before.
Ah, well, got a one question that might even answer that one. So, if your wonderful book, Encapsulated Emotions, was a food item, what would it be and why?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it would be I think it would be banana bread because banana bread is one of those things that people made in lockdown. I don't know if it was like that in the US, but here we had kind of like a trend of just loads of people randomly baking banana bread. So it's it's a food item that I associate with lockdown and with the country struggling, but also trying to unite through things that we didn't really have to before, like the reliance on technology and social media and all of these trends that were emerging that we could allocate more time and attention to because we had nothing else to do. So yeah, I'd say it's like banana bread, just because that reminds me of lockdown and the poetry was produced during the pandemic.
Ah, that's what I'm talking about indeed. Quite fitting it was banana bread because the whole world was going bananas, so,
Yeah,
all
they
good.
they definitely were. I was going to say under no fault of our own, but I don't know. It is humanity's fault the virus emerged in the first place. So, yeah, we're not completely blameless. But we were crazy, definitely.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. But hey, I guess we're all inherently bananas. It just depends on if we have the whole batch of bananas or just the one banana.
Yep.
And the earth is like you're sticking it all in my tailpipe. Stop it, y'all.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. Well, we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. And for you, it's definitely different. So if you were to wake up tomorrow and you were 13 again, but you're in the current year with all of your knowledge, experience, and published work, what advice would you give to yourself?
probably when I was 13, the thing I had that I don't have now is more free time. So I'd say delegate more of your time towards reading and writing because I feel like when I was about 13, 14 and my school workload started going up, I kind of edged away from my books a little bit more, and I only just really got back into reading for fun consistently over lockdown, and I've tried to maintain that. I will read in the evenings, and I've got this little notebook full of like book reviews and my thoughts on books that I've read. But yeah, that's something I wasn't really doing when I was 13. And it's true, the more you read, the better you are at writing. And, the more you write, the better you are at writing. So what I'd say was you are going to improve. You just need to give it that little initial push, and you need to motivate yourself to read and write because at the end of the day, it is what you love to do. So just get on with it. That's what I'd say.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Get on with it, indeed. And that's right. Little sis will be like, hey, big sis, you got a few inches shorter. What happened?
Yeah. That is the kind of advice that I give my sister. She's not 13, but she's 10, and I am happiest when I see her with a book in her hands. I am the one who buys her so many books. Whatever she's interested in, I will just go online straight away and just get the whole series or whatever. I just love to encourage her to read because it opens up more doors than you'd think. It obviously opens up the doors of becoming a better reader and then in effect a better writer, but it also improves your communication and just your knowledge of the world. And I feel like that's something people might have forgotten. Reading has so many benefits, so I would definitely encourage her to do that.
Ah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now, that right there is beautiful, y'all. That's right. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Encourage the young ones to read. Heck, even encourage the old ones to read too if they've fallen out of love with reading thanks to adulting and just the whole life thing indeed. And if
Yeah.
you need to start, go ahead and pick up Ra's book, Encapsulated Emotions. Pick up multiple copies of it, indeed, and share with your friends, family, cat, penguin, and dog. So for those who want to keep in touch with you and keep watch on your journey forward in your writing and all your success to come, what's the best way for folks to do so?
I'm most active on Instagram, I'd say. So yeah, if you're interested in my journey, my writing, and my poetry, then you can follow me at Encapsulated_emotions on Instagram.
Woohoo! There you go, the double E. Encapsulated_emotions, y'all. That's right. That's right. That's right indeed. That's right. Follow her on the IG, slide into her DMs, be like, hey, heard you on the Go North podcast. Like, keep it up. Keep doing great work. Don't use a stupid pickup line because it wouldn't even work. That's right. She's got a black belt, y'all. She could break your arm in 5 different places, y'all. I'm telling you.
True.
Yes, indeed.
I've
Yes,
spoken
indeed.
so much, I'm just running out of words, but that one was just so poignant. True. Everything is
Yeah. But hey, love it indeed. Love it indeed. Any more black belts out there indeed, especially the ladies. So that way folks will get some act right in them if they try to do something stupid. So, any parting words before we close up shop?
Well, thank you for listening, and obviously, Dom, thank you for interviewing me. It's been amazing being on your show. It's an absolute honor to be here. I hope that you have enjoyed listening about my book, and if you'd like to check it out, you can just search my name or Encapsulated Emotions into Amazon or any other like major online bookstore.
Thanks a bunch for tuning in and setting aside some of your time to listen to this wonderful podcast, Going North. If you really enjoyed what you heard, do me a solid and share this with your network and someone that you care about that would get something out of it too. And be sure to subscribe to hear more, and heck, even check out the backlog if you would like, because there are hundreds of episodes to choose from, and they just keep getting better and not butter.